AI, OpenAI, ChatGPT, you've probably already been hearing these names, and like a lot of people, you might be worried that your job or your business is at risk. Let's talk more about what AI might mean for freelancers specifically. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan Grant, and I'm your best freelancing friend, here to help freelancers grow their businesses. AI went from a whisper to the next big thing in tech, and it is everywhere. It has a lot of us a little bit scared because unless you have a very discerning eye, it can be really hard to tell content that's generated by AI apart from content that's generated by a human. OpenAI and ChatGPT have gotten very good at talking like a human, writing like a human, and even creating art like a human. So, do our clients even need us anymore? Well, as a professional writer and someone who at this point has probably worked with hundreds of freelancers, here's my take. First of all, we are never going to stop this technology. It's going to happen whether we like it or not. So, stressing over or being scared about what it might mean for our businesses is pointless for that reason alone. I'm not saying it's easy not to stress. I'm just saying you're not helping yourself. Second, I feel like to a degree, ChatGPT might be one of those things that's it's like the shiny new toy. It's really shiny, and everybody is flocking to it and trying to figure out how to use it to replace what human beings used to do. But I feel like this could backfire, kind of like how Bitcoin did. Bitcoin hit the scene, it was immensely popular, everybody invested in it, and then it tanked. When it comes to AI, we are already seeing some bigger names kind of taking their foot off the pedal. For instance, we recently found out that CNET had been using AI to write some of their articles for the last several months. They weren't super transparent about this with their staff or their readers, and now they're hitting the pause button on it because there was backlash. The same thing is happening with Bankrate and creditcards.com. Google also had an AI product called Duplex on the Web. It ended up being a bigger project than they had anticipated, so they shut it down. There was another story I read recently about a man who used AI to write, I believe it was a children's book, and he sold it on Amazon, and it did fairly well, and that blew up in his face. People were talking about the ethics of using AI to write a book in the first place and to sell that book, but also the specific AI that he had used had already come under fire because people were saying that this specific tool was stealing other people's content and just manipulating it a little bit. All of this is to say that AI might be a tool that, plain and simple, we are just not ready for. People are getting really excited and really eager, but in my opinion, it's too much too fast. Third, and I know, not everyone feels like this, but I do think that generally speaking, our clients and also employers aren't ready to fully trust AI yet, and we shouldn't fully trust it. This kind of goes back to the children's book. You have to think about how AI learns. It learns by consuming other people's content, and it uses that content to develop its own. I've played around with OpenAI before to write a blog just as an experiment, and then I ran that content through a plagiarism detector, and it picked up a ton. Much of the language was copied from other sources. Could this change in the future? Sure, it probably will. AI will probably become better at creating content that won't get flagged for plagiarism, but that doesn't change the way that AI fundamentally works. My husband made an interesting point, and he said something like, well, why does it really matter if AI learns by taking other people's content? Nothing online is original anymore anyway. That's a fair point, and it made me think, but here's the thing. Here's the conclusion that I ultimately came to. If I sit down to write a blog, I might read other people's work for inspiration more frequently. I'm researching to learn more about the topic. But when I sit down to write it, those words are coming from my brain. I'm creating them. Those thoughts are mine and mine only, as only a sentient human being can do. I'm putting my own thoughts and feelings and intentions down on paper. AI can't do that, at least not yet. In other words, AI might be brilliant, and it is, but it is not equivalent to a human being. Fourth, automatically generated content goes directly against Google's webmaster guidelines. They've confirmed this themselves, and I will drop that link in the description below. If they see it, they'll act on it, and this could cause potentially permanent damage to a website. This rule itself is nothing new. If you're not familiar with this, there's something called spinning content, and there are tools that will spin content for you. So essentially what you can do is you can take an article that you found online, put it into this tool, and it will kind of rearrange the sentences until the article is different enough that it won't get flagged for plagiarism. But it's still all the same words. It was just jumbled up a little bit. Google counts this as automatically generated content and it will ding the website for it. So again, this rule is nothing new, and AI falls under that category. Now, a fair point that people are making is that Google isn't yet savvy enough to spot AI-generated content. That's debatable, but let's say that that is the case. It's only a matter of time. There is already technology in the works that's designed to kind of like sniff out AI-generated content, and it's only going to get better. Do you really want to build up a website based on content that was made by AI only for Google to eventually come around and wipe it all away? I certainly wouldn't do that to my website, and I refuse to do it to my clients. This goes beyond the conversation of ethics. It's not going to work. It's going to backfire. If you are a freelancer, you are putting your clients in jeopardy if you use AI to come up with their content. Does that mean that AI is the devil? No, absolutely not. Use it as a tool. If you're experiencing writer's block, for example, that's a great time to use ChatGPT or something similar. But it shouldn't replace your own original content, okay? It should serve as inspiration or think of it like a springboard. Also remember that there are other applications for AI that could be pretty cool. For instance, some brands are starting to play around with like layering AI on top of their chatbots. So when people visit their website and interact with that live chat, they're getting, a slightly more humanized experience. It feels more like they're talking to a person even though they're not. It's AI. This is better than your run-of-the-mill chatbot, and it's also probably cheaper than hiring a human being. But you need to be transparent about this. That's key. Don't try to trick people into thinking that they're talking about a human being. Tell them, this live chat is run by AI. If you are open and honest, they will probably be a lot less hostile, and they might even enjoy the experience better. Also, and this is something I'm always telling my students, nothing replaces human-to-human interactions, relationships, and conversations. It's one of the reasons why I discourage freelancers, everyone really, from using LinkedIn automation tools, which I talk about in this video. That's also why I discourage people from using engagement pods. Got a video on that too. I know that doing things manually and coming up with your own ideas and your own content takes longer, but it's going to work better. There's a time and a place for using technology and software to work more efficiently, and for sure, in some cases, you should take that route, but it's not always the answer. Some shortcuts help your results, while others hurt them. This is a philosophy that I live by every single day running my own business, and it's also the reason that I'm consistently able to land high-paying, high-quality clients that stick with me for years at a time. My students and I never sacrifice quality for the sake of quantity, and from our very first touch point with our leads, those people are getting a personal, customized experience with us. If you're a freelancer and you're struggling to grow your business, I might be able to help. In my program, Revenue Spark, I teach my A to Z process for building a freelancing business on your terms that suits your lifestyle that you can sustain. If you're looking to set up elaborate email funnels and run paid ads and scrape email addresses and send out thousands of emails at a time, I'm not your girl. If you want something more authentic and hands-on and sustainable, that's me. The link is below if you want to learn more about my program, and if you're interested in joining, the next step is to book a call and speak with me. If you found this video helpful, I would be very grateful if you could give it a thumbs up to support my channel, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you never miss my new content, and I'll see you in the next video.